welcome back to my channel. He's finally here. Mezco LDD presents David from the Lost Boys. He came out months after Mattel's version of David dropped. And I can't wait to get into the details of both dolls. So let's get into it. So we're going to start with the Monster High Collector David. So, as I mentioned, she came out, I want to say April or May. Pretty much out of nowhere. She was an unexpected release. Mezco announced their David during Toy Fair in February. And then this doll just dropped 2 months later, and it really caught a lot of collectors by surprise. Namely because other dolls were mentioned to be in production, such as the Emily from The Corpse Bride, for example, and the Us 2-pack, which didn't come out till towards the end of the year. But nope, they surprised us with David. And I feel like Mattel has been doing a lot of copying of Mezco's releases. It can't be a coincidence that the last couple of Mezco releases, Mattel also has had a release. Mezco announced a Wednesday. Don't mind my Wednesday. Mattel had Wednesday. And then Megan was announced by Mezco. Mattel came out with a Megan. So it just seems like Mattel and Mezco are kind of trying to one-up each other with these releases. It's really curious. But anyway, let's get down to the doll. That's what you're here for. So she comes in this standard box. So it's just a photo of the doll. It says Lost Boys, Collector. She is upside down like David and his fellow vampires in the cave. It says Lost Boys on the side. And this part is really cool. So it depicts the fictional city of Santa Clara, which is in the movie known as the murder capital of the world. And so it has the boardwalk where a lot of the action takes place. Here she's holding the box of Chinese noodles, which is actually a purse. And here is a really cool detail. So in the movie, there was a lot of pictures of missing children in the area. Or well, actually children and other people. And they were missing or they just wound up dead. So what I thought was funny was that instead of depicting that, they actually have two Monster High characters. They have Draculaura and they have Frankie Stein, in case you're not familiar with Monster High, which I thought was kind of cute. And again, because they had to let you know it's a Skeletor association with Monster High, there's a Skelett in the roller coaster. Okay, and then when you open the box, okay, here they go into a little bit about the movie. If you want to pause and read that. Which I think is really cool. And the designer, I'm not sure off the top of my head the name of the designer, but she's a huge fan, and this was actually something she wanted to do. And you can tell with the details that she really knows her movie. And here you have this kite, which is featured on her shirt. I'll get into that in a moment. So here she is. Now, the thing that had fans in a tizzy is that, again, Mattel did a gender bend doll instead of having it be a male doll or a manster, as they're called in the Monster High world. honestly, I don't know how a male doll would have looked with this. It's different than Edward Scissorhands. Like, I feel like Edward Scissorhands could have been a male doll. I don't think Mattel would have been able to capture this character in a male form. I think it works with a female form. I might be in the minority of that, but I think it works. In the background is a depiction of the cave that David and the rest of the vampires reside in. Cute little details. You have, again, the skeletts. Had to let you know it's Monster High. And, you know, not much to it. It was quite dark in the cave in the movie, so not many details I can remember to stand out, but there was a lot of candles. They captured that. So the doll herself, she's very simple in terms of the clothing. David, portrayed by Kiefer Sutherland, he actually has a lot of layers on, so they didn't quite do that. So she has this long trench coat. She has like this material that's made to look like it's leather, but it's not. And she has the little not decals, but little objects that David had on his coat, but they were individual pieces. Here that they made it one molded plastic piece, which kind of makes it a little cheap. And then on the shirt is that kite design that was in the back of the box. Now, I didn't remember this detail. I had to actually ask around my fellow Living Dead doll collectors on the pages if anyone knew about this sketch. And someone said that it was on a kite that the boy character, there's a little boy in the gang of vampires. He's the brother to the love interest who lured Michael the human in the movie to join the gang. And so he was like almost vampire, so he apparently flew the kite. I think that's what someone told me. I'm not entirely sure. I just don't remember it. I don't remember that detail, but anyway, so that's who's on her shirt. And she has this faux leather bodysuit, and it's one piece. And she has these black hands that to mimic the leather gloves David wears. Now, I actually really like the object heels. And I think they're really cool in that one of them, the saxophone, has nothing to do with the main character, but the saxophone was featured in the movie during this concert on the boardwalk, played by this guy. Here's a picture of him. Now, he never comes back again in the movie, but he's one of those iconic moments in Lost Boys. Again, he's not a vampire. You never get back to him, but everyone remembers this guy. He's quintessential 80s. And that's what the saxophone pays a tribute to, which I thought was really cool. I think it's the first time an object heel has nothing to do with the character. I've never seen that before. And then the other object heel, here's a picture from the stock photo of what that looks like. Now, that's meant to be like a bottle of wine. In the movie, David presents that bottle of wine to Michael. Now, it's not wine, it's actually blood, and that begins Michael's transition to being a vampire. But at the time, Michael didn't know it was blood. Oh, he actually thought David was joking that it was blood, and he drank it. So that's what that bottle is in reference to. And the front of the boot, I believe, is chains. Yeah, it's chains, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to be with the motorcycle or whatnot, but it's a cool detail. And, you know, like I said, she wasn't everyone's cup of tea, but I like her. Her hair is kind of funky, so they didn't give her a mullet. They gave her a sort of a half mullet, if you will, just the front part of it, and she has longer hair in the back, which is not a mullet. But again, I think it works. I think she's really cool. And, you know, again, I don't think it would work. I don't think Mattel could capture David in a male form, because he is very masculine, whereas Edward Scissorhands is a little effeminate in the face. And I think they could have made that into a doll. I just don't think Kiefer Sutherland as a doll would have worked, but I like the interpretation. So that's the Mattel Collector version of David. Okay. And here's Mezco's David. Oh my gosh, he came out so good. I love this doll. There are some things I do have complaints about, but let's go to what's great about him. First, out of the box, I thought he was going to have like gelled hair, but it's not. It's not quite soft, but you know, it's nice enough hair. You could definitely put your fingers through it. The details on his face is so movie accurate to Kiefer Sutherland. And the outfit and the details on the outfit, again, are movie accurate. So here, as I said, there were 3 separate pieces that were on his coat. I'm not sure what the last one is, but you could clearly see this is a watch. And this is a crest of some kind. And his clothing, it seems like it's 3 separate pieces, which is pretty cool. If you feel his arms, you could feel the thickness of it. He also has plastic underneath his sleeve to prevent staining, which I don't get why you would need it. I don't see why anyone would take the clothes off, because it sure will be a pain to put right back on. He comes with these gloved looking hands. So they look like biker gloves. And he has these boots that come up to here, but I'm not going to bring up the pants because there's nothing really special about these boots. And his pants are like a pleather material. Hopefully it fares better over the years than Mezco / Living Dead Dolls OG doll series, in which when the dolls have this type of material, it peels eventually. So hopefully this is a better material that it will withstand the test of time. He also has this earring, which does come out. When I was turning his head, the earring came out, and I thought I broke it, but it's not broken. It goes right back in. And she has a similar earring too. It's this little plastic piece here, and it also comes out. It's made to come out, but his gave me a heart attack. I thought I broke him, but he's not broken. Now, the biggest gripes I have with the Mezco release, one, the packaging, which it is a little better than previous releases. They have the Vampire Gang on their motorcycles and the Santa Clara boardwalk in the background. Here, all the roller coasters. They have like the fangs on top of the box. It says Lost Boys. So they have David on a tree on the side. Okay, David in the back. and David on the side. Now, these pictures are part of the stock photos, and they made it seem like his head was way too big for his body, which I was really worried about. But I think, again, those were just prototype pictures. He is a lot better in person. Like, especially the hair. The hair is so much better in person than it is in the pictures. But the biggest gripe I have is that he didn't come with an accessory. Now, the reason why the Chinese noodle box is important is because in the movie, David and the gang of vampires, along with Michael, who they're trying to recruit, they have Chinese food. And then David plays mind tricks because that's his powers as a vampire. And he tells Michael, "Oh, I didn't know you like maggots." And then Michael's container of rice turns into maggots. So that's a very famous scene in the movie. And the fact that Mezco didn't give him that accessory is kind of annoying. And if he was made 15 years ago, he would have had that. He probably would have had the bottle of wine too. But again, as I mentioned before when I talked about Presents, that series of dolls, Mezco has cheapened out every single year, every release they came out with. And I just wish he had that. Now, because he didn't have the box of noodles, I really wanted him to have one. So I actually bought this poodle in my noodle. So it's sort of like a cup of noodles and it has this puppy dog in it. So he can't really hold it. It's a little too big for him, but I'm just going to have him pose with it just so he can have a thing of noodles with him because, damn it, David deserves to have his cup of noodles. So that's it. That's my overview of both Mezco and Mattel's releases. I like them both. I think they're really good representations of the character because, you know, he's not in this face all the time, so it's nice to have a relaxed face, and I think she serves that purpose. Again, I'm in the minority. I think she's fine as a female doll. I don't think a David would have worked. He's too masculine. I don't think Mattel can capture that well, and I think it works well in this form. She is still available, I believe, at the time of this recording. Unlike Edward Scissorhands, who finally sold out after all the holiday sales, she's still around. Again, she's not very popular, and it's a shame because I think she's a really cool interpretation. And for David, I believe he's still available on Mezco's website. I bought him from Entertainment Earth. He sold out. I don't know if they're going to ever get him back in stock. And I bought him from Entertainment Earth because I didn't have to pay shipping because I ordered him along with Megan and the Wednesday Nevermore release. So I saved $15 on shipping, which is what Mezco would have charged in addition to his $60 price tag. He was not worth $75. But I am happy to have him in my collection. He's a representation of a childhood memory, a movie I grew up with. Probably shouldn't have watched when I was young, but I did. And it's a great movie. I highly recommend watching it. And I'm still debating if I'm going to do my Wednesday Nevermore release. I was very disappointed with her. And I don't know if I want to make a video about it. It's going to be very negative. So I'm still thinking about it. I am working on that series 1, the first of my series reviews for Living Dead Dolls. So stay tuned for that. And again, hope you enjoyed it. And stay tuned for more videos. And as always, happy hunting.